She was supposedly pregnant at just 10 years old, and everyone was scared by her case, but when the day of delivery came, no one could believe what was really inside her belly. On a Saturday afternoon in 2022, Lucy ran smiling along the riverbanks of her small town. Her eyes sparkled with joy as her laughter filled the air. The golden sun reflected on the water, creating a magical setting for the kids to play. Nature around them seemed to vibrate with lush trees and colorful flowers decorating the scene. Her friends, Charlie and Anna, chased after her with their red, sweaty faces, but they were happy and excited. They laughed and screamed as they dodged branches and stones in a friendly race to the riverbank. When they reached the edge of the stream, the three friends stopped to catch their breath, panting and giggling. Charlie, always the boldest, challenged the girls to join him in the water. They hesitated for a moment, but soon their adventurous spirit and the desire to cool off on that hot day drove them to jump in. The kids plunged into the river, laughing and shouting with pleasure as the cold, refreshing water enveloped them. They swam, played tag, and held diving competitions, while time passed without them noticing. Birds sang and tree leaves danced in the gentle breeze, witnessing the children's happiness. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, the kids realized it was time to head home. They said goodbye with hugs and promises to meet again the next day for more adventures. The small town where Lucy lived was nestled in a rural area in the southeast, surrounded by mountains and forests, a few miles from a big city. It was a very simple place with wooden houses and thatched roofs, where dirt roads snaked between homes and small local shops. Despite its simplicity, the town had a warm and welcoming atmosphere. Residents knew each other by name and greeted each other with smiles and friendly words. Lucy was a 10-year-old girl full of energy and joy, living with her parents, John and Lisa. The family was very close and supportive in all situations, sharing laughs and happy moments. Their home was small and humble but cozy, with a little garden where John grew vegetables and herbs to supplement the family's diet. He worked as a fisherman, while Lisa took care of the home and Lucy, teaching her daughter everything she knew about life, nature, and the importance of generosity and compassion. The girl attended the local school and had many friends with whom she played and explored the beauty of the town and surrounding areas. Everything was going well until one day, the little girl and her family noticed something strange. Lucy's belly began to inexplicably grow. At first, they thought it might be something temporary, like bloating due to improper eating, for example, but as the months passed, Lucy's belly continued to grow, causing concern among her parents and the town's residents. The couple took their daughter to see the only local doctor, Dr. Sylvia, hoping to find out the cause of her belly's increase. After examining Lucy carefully and conducting some tests, which was sent to a clinic in the big city and the results returned, Dr. Sylvia informed the family that the girl was pregnant and that there were less than 2 months left until the baby's birth. What? Pregnant? The parents couldn't believe it. The news was received with shock and concern, as Lucy was only 10 years old, and her pregnancy posed risks to her health and well-being. Moreover, it caused a great stir in the town, and people began searching for answers to this situation. Local authorities were informed and decided to investigate the case. Naturally, John became the prime suspect and was taken into custody at the town's small police station, where he would be detained for some time. The little girl and her mother were terrified and pleaded for mercy. "Don't take my daddy," the little girl screamed and cried. And even though Lucy still insisted that her father had done nothing wrong, no one believed her, thinking the fisherman was being forced to say that. In jail, the poor man ate the bread the devil needed. The inmates, who were robust men with threatening appearances, coldly stared at him with a threatening tone. They had heard about the little girl's situation and confronted him angrily. "So you're the monster who got his own daughter pregnant, huh? What kind of person does that to a child?" The father, although frightened, responded firmly, "I didn't do anything like that. I love my daughter and would never hurt her. People are judging me without knowing the truth." The inmates, laughing sarcastically, pushed him against the wall and began to beat him. "You think anyone will believe you? Scumbags like you deserve to suffer. Stop, I didn't do anything, I swear." The man cried out, begging, and they only stopped the assaults when the police intervened. John, already badly hurt, felt intense pain in his body and his heart. He felt humiliated and all he wanted was to go to his family. When Lisa heard what had happened, she rushed to the police station with tears in her eyes and begged the officers to release him. "Please, my husband is a good man, a loving father. He would never hurt our daughter. Ma'am, until we are completely sure, we can't let a man like him roam the streets. Our children are in danger. I know you believe in your husband's innocence, understand that. We also hope this is all a misunderstanding because we've known John forever, but just in case, he stays here," explained one of the officers. The poor wife left in tears. Poor thing, she would have to face this whole situation alone. Every day, the residents, divided between anger and doubt, would go to the front of the police station and cause a big commotion. The atmosphere of tension and mistrust remained. Meanwhile, the doctor, seeing how bad the situation had gotten, suggested a DNA test to determine the baby's paternity as soon as the birth took place. The mother agreed, hopeful that the truth would be revealed and her husband's innocence would be proven. The anguish took over everyone in the family. Lucy, even though she was just a child, sensed her parents suffering and felt guilty for all the chaos that had entered their lives. The poor girl was confused and scared. Lisa wouldn't let her daughter leave the house and always took great care of her. The little girl felt trapped and confined since she could no longer go out and play with her friends. She didn't quite understand what was happening. "And why has my tummy grown, Mommy? Is there something wrong with me? Am I sick? Is that why my tummy is so big?" Lucy asked. "No, of course not, dear. You're fine. It's just that some things are changing in your body, and soon you'll be normal again." Lisa tried to calm her daughter and explain the situation, but the girl had conflicting feelings and many unanswered questions. "Mum, what's going to happen to me? I don't understand why I'm like this. I feel a strange pain down there. My tummy hurts, Mommy," she said, her voice trembling. Lisa said that all of this was normal because now there was a baby in there. "You're going to have a baby, sweetie, and he will be very loved. You will be a wonderful mother. I will help you with everything you need," she affirmed, smiling gently. But something still didn't make sense to Lisa. Who had done this to her precious girl? Who could be such a monster to do something so terrible to a 10-year-old child? She was so distraught that she cried every day, hiding from the girl. However, whenever the mother brought up the subject, Lucy would say that it hadn't been anyone. "I swear I don't know who did this to me, Mommy," the poor girl would respond, with tears in her eyes. Lucy's mother suspected that something was wrong, but she didn't know how to explain it or what to think. So, during the last month of the girl's pregnancy, Lisa tried to distract her and keep her busy with simple activities like sewing or cooking. "Let's bake a cake, Lucy. You like cake, don't you?" The girl felt grateful for her mother's care, but at the same time was insecure when her tummy hurt, and she woke up crying, questioning in despair. "Did I do something to deserve this, Mommy?" Lisa hugged her daughter and kissed her on the forehead, saying she wasn't to blame for anything and that everything would be okay. "You're a strong and brave girl, Lucy. We will get through this together, okay?" she affirmed with conviction. Poor things, what a situation. Meanwhile, John was facing his constant battle to prove his innocence in prison. He felt powerless and scared with the threats from other inmates who considered him a monster. The fisherman always received letters from his wife, telling him about their daughter's situation and the family's financial condition, as he was the only one working. The poor man was worried about not being able to do anything and suffered from everyone's judgment. On his cold nights, always after being beaten by the inmates, he cried and lamented that his little girl had gone through something terrible. "My God, how could this have happened? I wish I could be there to help my girl." In one of the letters he sent to his little girl, the father expressed his sadness and anguish. "My dear daughter, I know I can't be there physically to take care of you during this difficult time, but I want you to know that I am praying for you and our family every day. Don't give up, my daughter. You are strong and brave, and I believe everything will be okay in the end." So, even with everything in extreme chaos, the due date for Lucy's birth was approaching, and the whole town was mobilized to help the family. The neighbors organized to gather resources and prepare a suitable place for the baby's birth. Dr. Sylvia was in constant contact with the girl's family, providing information and guidance to ensure the girl's health and safety during childbirth. She also mobilized her network to get medical supplies in case of an emergency. Even though the city's health support situation was quite precarious, everyone was eager and helping as much as they could. "Don't worry, Mrs. Lisa. We'll take care of your daughter with all the care and dedication she deserves. Count on me for whatever you need," said the doctor, reassuring the mother. The anticipation surrounding the birth of the little girl's baby was immense, but since they were all very close, they wished the best for her. Poor family. "We're rooting for Lucy and your family. Let's unite and help as much as we can," said one of the neighbors, comforting Lisa. Finally, the day of the scheduled C-section arrived. The townspeople were tense, and both the girl's mother and father relied on the support and solidarity of the entire community to overcome this difficult situation. The entire town was buzzing, with people moving around anxiously, murmuring among themselves about the girl's and the baby's fate. The atmosphere was filled with tension and anticipation. In prison, the fisherman paced back and forth, biting his nails and silently praying for everything to go well. He knew that the DNA test depended on the baby's birth, and he was anxious. The medical team, led by Dr. Sylvia, was fully mobilized, waiting for the little girl to arrive for the delivery. Everyone in the town had stopped their activities, suspended in time, waiting for the story's outcome. The operating room was meticulously prepared for a C-section since Lucy, being only 10 years old, could not have a natural birth. Finally, the little girl arrived at the clinic, accompanied by her mother, who tried to hold back her own tears and calm her daughter. The girl, despite her fear, showed bravery. The doctor entered the room, dressed in surgical attire, and looked at the little girl for a long moment before beginning the procedure. "Let's go, sweetie. I'll examine you one last time before we start," said the doctor, trying to keep her voice calm and soothing. However, no one could have imagined what would happen next. While carefully examining Lucy, the doctor frowned, puzzled. Something wasn't right. She asked everyone to step back and performed a more detailed examination. She gently palpated the little girl's belly from side to side as the room's silence grew and the suspense mounted with each passing second. Then, after a few minutes, the woman exclaimed, I can't find the baby." She was visibly confused. "What do you mean there's no baby?" Lisa exclaimed, her eyes wide with disbelief, almost panicking. Everyone in the room was in shock, unable to understand what was happening. Realizing something was very wrong, Dr. Sylvia decided to perform an emergency ultrasound. The tension increased as the doctor prepared the equipment. The nurses and the entire medical team murmured and whispered. As soon as the doctor started the exam, the image on the screen showed only fluid, not the baby everyone was expecting to see. "I'm sorry, but there's no baby here," the woman announced, confused. Lucy wasn't pregnant. What was the reaction of those present? "What's happening, Mommy?" the little girl asked, not understanding anything. Then, the doctor requested further tests and to take him to the big city to find out what had happened to the girl. The mother quickly agreed, and the C-section was cancelled. What happened in there? Where's the baby? People waiting outside the clinic wondered, puzzled to see Lisa and Lucy coming out empty-handed. So, they took a sample of the fluid and the girl's blood to the big city laboratory for more detailed tests to understand what was happening. While awaiting the results, the community remained apprehensive, unsettled by the revelation that there was no baby. In the meantime, John was released from prison since, without a baby in the girl's womb, it was proven that he hadn't hurt his own daughter. Even so, the suspense still hung over the town, and everyone was anxious for answers. After a few days of waiting, the test results finally arrived in town. Dr. Sylvia called Lucy's family and some community members to share the information. "I have Lucy's test results," the doctor began, looking at the anxious faces of those present. "And now we have an explanation for what happened." Everyone held their breath, waiting for the revelation. "Lucy has ascites, commonly known as belly water," she continued. "It's caused by fluid accumulation in the abdominal cavity, which can result from various medical conditions." Lisa squeezed her daughter's hand, worried, and asked, "But, doctor, how did this happen? Why did her belly get like this? And what about the previous test that concluded she was pregnant?" The doctor patiently explained, ascites can be caused by parasitic infections, for example. In Lucy's case, that's what happened. Probably due to the poor sanitary conditions of our stream, where the children like to play. It's not well maintained, and she might have contracted the parasite there. This caused fluid to accumulate in her abdomen, giving the appearance of a pregnant belly. As for the test that was conducted and concluded she was pregnant, it seems there was a mix-up at the big city clinic. A nurse who wasn't having her best day confused Lucy's samples with those of a young woman who was pregnant. But we've already contacted the authorities, and they're taking action against the clinic for negligence and irresponsibility. "And what can we do to help our girl?" the father asked, concerned. "The treatment involves combating the infection and eliminating the excess fluid," the doctor replied. "We'll need specific medications and possibly a medical procedure to drain the accumulated fluid. But the good news is that Lucy will be fine." Everyone in the room breathed a sigh of relief, but they also knew a challenge lay ahead. The town needed to improve its sanitary conditions and ensure that its residents had access to proper medical care. And so, everything returned to normal over time. John received compensation for being wrongfully imprisoned and for suffering the days he spent in prison away from his family and unable to work. This money helped the family deal with the challenges they faced and invest in Lucy's treatment and the necessary improvements in their home. Lucy, after effective treatment, became completely healthy and returned to playing with her friends. Fortunately, the girl did not suffer any trauma from the situation she had gone through. Her recovery brought relief and joy to the entire family, as well as to the town's community. The town, now aware of the importance of proper sanitary conditions and access to medical care, worked together to improve the lives of all residents. Lucy and her family's story brought a new sense of unity and hope, making the town find happiness again and strive to build a safer and healthier future for everyone. And if you like this story, be sure the next video appearing on your screen will surprise and move you too. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. A kiss, and I'll see you in our next exciting story.